Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. Thank you very much for your tweets. Craig, everyone's been very complimentary of Craig's tie today, which he's been very much enjoying, hasn't he? Stevie's...
Nice. Actually, nobody's been very... only one person has been complimentary.
You know what our director was? As was Frank.
Yeah, that's one.
Frank was nice as well.
Oh, Frank was.
Yeah, that's two people.
Well, Frank's got no taste, that
And you guys laughed
Well, it's because you very much
in my
enjoyed
face.
it. Well, you're flapping it around.
But a bit of colour.
It is. No, nice bit of colour,
You
exactly.
thought about wearing a tie yourself at any point?
No, I don't think this show is worthy of a tie, really, is it? It's not quite that sort of broadcast.
We used to remember the couch.
Yes, you hated that couch.
I put gas on it.
Yeah, I wonder where that couch is now.
In Stevie's house.
Stevie's house. Is Ronaldo actually hurting Manchester United, Craig, by scoring last-minute goals and keeping Ollie's job intact?
How's that hurting?
Because if Ronaldo doesn't score and they look like they're going to not make it through to the next round of the Champions League, it forces the board's hand to get rid of Ollie and get a decent manager in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's prolonging the inevitable.
Right.
I would say. However, he can only do what he does and has been doing. So yeah, it's sort of papering over. It's not even papering over the cracks.
Right.
It's just putting a tiny little bit of sellotape over like a wall full of cracks and holes and.
If there was to be an all-access documentary, Stevie, made on one of their teams, which one would be the most entertaining?
Who's their teams?
So Liverpool, the Revs, Sheffield Wednesday, Doncaster.
Very easy. Have they actually showed everything? Oh, be Liverpool.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Oh, do you know what?
How much do you think they could show?
Oh, not a lot.
Not a lot.
No.
The greatest thing, or the luckiest thing that ever happened to us was there was no cell phones, basically.
Yes. Yeah.
Till what? Early 90s, was it? About 93, something like that.
That's probably around about right. Yeah, you had the big boy ones, didn't you?
Yeah, so fortunately there was none of that.
No phones, nothing.
No phones, nobody could get a holiday, brilliant.
Yeah. Look at the memory bank.
Yeah.
Celtic?
Celtic. I mean, the dressing room at Chelsea was really good, but the
Shenanigans.
The 97-98 the 97-98 squad dressing room at Celtic was carnage.
Right.
And I mean, and it was a mix of Brits and Scandinavians and Italians and German, but it was carnage. I mean, it was.
When you use the word carnage, Craig, what does that mean?
Well, there was language every week in training in the dressing room and Mickey taking that you couldn't broadcast.
Right.
There was fights on the training field. There was success on the field. There was nights out at least 2 or 3 times a week, including a weekend.
Okay. And
there was the players that went into the physio's room on a Sunday for treatment. It was more akin to having dead bodies in there. And Brian Scott, the physio, just laughing his head off because everybody was hungover.
Right, I see.
I mean, it was fun.
Frank?
It was fun.
Which of your teams?
Will be with no hesitation Olympique Marseille. I signed for 2 years, and I have to tell you, that was absolutely crazy. Just the signature, I signed, and suddenly I turned and I was feeling somebody, behind me, and I checked, and the guy didn't know who he was. He was nobody, shouldn't have been in the office. And I say, who are you? And he said, well, no, don't worry, sign. And 15 days after, I watched TV, a local television, and the guy with that face was arrested and went to jail. I say, what the hell the guy was doing here? And he's on TV. That was Marseille, where I had to go to the police station 3 times during the first season because of certain signature transfer that something I didn't know. I had to defend myself, and I lost 40,000 francs at the time. So it's like let's say 8,000 euros to defend myself, to take a lawyer to explain that I had nothing to do with that. We have known 4 chairmen in 2 years and 4 or 5 coaches in 2 years. That was a nightmare, and it was very interesting. And we ended up, finishing 3rd, qualified for the Champions League the second year. that was kind of a feat.
You should have written a book about that, not a stupid self-help book. That'd be much more interesting.
I mean, you just, you just can't. I mean,
Too dangerous.
I mean, I might be wrong, but I don't imagine. I mean, they must still have fun.
Yeah, but you've got it's very controlled fun, isn't it? Because as you say, you're worried about
The dressing room was like the dressing rooms in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, but absolutely. I mean, Don was when Don came into Scotland camp. It was absolutely. I mean, he was at Liverpool and Don's early days with him. I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, I had an old teammate of mine recently, Dave Lee from Chelsea, telling a story, and I'd forgot about this, but he was telling a story about Ruud Gullit, and we were coming back from Cheltenham, and he was telling a story that how much of a great day it was, but Ruud vowed he'd never come back because Burley threw a pint of Guinness over him on the bus, right? And I went, and the guy went, oh, he missed that one out when he was telling, and I forgot about it.
You threw a pint of Guinness over Ruud Gullit on the way back from the horse racing.
I don't know if I did it intentionally, but it landed over the top of his dreadlocks. Right? And he started shouting at everybody, this is crazy! Crazy! English football, crazy!
Wow.
Not coming back. Shut up. Then more beer came his way.
From you as well?
No, from the rest of the boys. And I'm like, this is not.
We used to get up in the morning. You couldn't wait to get in the morning.
Right, because you're excited.
Because it was just fun.
Yeah.
People think we couldn't wait to get into train and play football. Absolutely nothing to do with it.
No,
we wanted to carry on.
Just want to hang out with your mates.
Aye.
Yeah.
Have a cup of tea.
Correct.
But I remember you saying that you went back to Liverpool like after that. I think maybe Gerard Houllier was in charge or someone else.
Oh my!
And you were like, where's the fun? Where is it kind of...
I was absolutely stunned. You know, and I said we couldn't wait. So you'd get there, and there would be the first team, there'd be the reserves,
right,
and there'd be the kids and the apprentices, and everybody was all mixed together.
Right, everyone had
so
a
there was
carry
like,
on,
and so there was just something going on. There was always a carry on. There was always a wind up going on. There was always somebody lying in their back, laughing their head off.
Right.
I mean, it was just great until we got the whistle.
Right.
And then bosh, we got after it. So I go back and it was Gerard Houllier and Phil, and I go through the gates at Melwood, and it's early on, and it's a bleak morning. It's usual clouds.
Yes.
And I thought, yeah, it was pretty quiet. Well, it was silence. And I thought, a bunch of players come in, nothing. It was almost as though they were told not to speak.
It was all business.
It was.
Don't laugh.
Just,
it's hard.
It was just, nobody had a smile on their face. Never mind were they not talking.
Right.
Nobody was smiling.
Right.
And actually anybody who spoke actually whispered.
Wow.
I had Steve Staunton talking to me, and I'm like, Stan, what are you whispering about? Well, I didn't realise I was whispering.
Wow.
I couldn't believe it. I was absolutely shocked.
Frank, do you agree? Do you think you had the most fun back in those days compared to the players now?
Oh yes, definitely. I think maybe because of the social networks as well, but also because of the mentality of the players. We were there to have fun. That was a passion. That wasn't a job. That wasn't a business. The business wasn't to be known. It was to play and try winning games. That was the thing. You know, we were scoring goals. We didn't calculate the celebrations. It was just nothing was planned. It was just for fun.
Right, away from the good old days. Since you play as a defender, Frank, who would you rather not face as a player between Dennis Bergkamp or Roberto Baggio?
I played against Dennis Bergkamp, but that was hard. That was very difficult because it was a very smart player. It was a tough one, and he has all the tools. I never played, didn't have the chance, because I think it's a chance, even if you quite humiliated at some point. I haven't never had the chance to play against Baggio because I was on the bench when we faced Italy. But Bergkamp was a fantastic player. I love watching him. I love the personality, and what he did with Arsenal was absolutely fantastic.
And you, Stevie?
Well, they're two different players.
Yeah.
You know, centre-backs would hate playing against Bergkamp because he would drift into positions and you would have no idea where he was. And then when you did realise where he was, it'd be too late because the ball was in the back of the net. Whereas Baggio is more of a maverick type. He'll just go and get the ball and then run past 3 or 4 people and smash it in the top corner. So I guess I would prefer to play against Baggio because he probably was a little more inconsistent. Is maybe not the right word, but I would say Bergkamp would be more consistent.
Which player from your playing days do you think would have been more successful if they played now? Is anyone who springs to mind in the modern day would suit them better than back then? That's tricky, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gage?
It's tricky.
No, I mean, you can... No, I don't think you can... How could you answer that?
Right.
I would... No.
So that would have to be somebody that was pretty unsuccessful.
Yeah, someone
well,
who
not
maybe
unsuccessful,
struggled.
but maybe
Yeah.
didn't see the talent.
Yes. Like maybe the tempo of the game's quicker now, you're more protected. Would that have helped someone? Look at this.
No, I can't. Well, because anybody who was any good would absolutely be able to play today.
Yes.
Because you've got more space and time on the ball.
Right.
Basically.
Okay.
That's a hard one, Dan. I don't think I could answer that. Yeah.
No, because
I'm trying to think of fullbacks.
So the Zolas and all that did really well anyway. I'm thinking about somebody who could have done better. I'm thinking about Kinkladze, who had all the talent, but then he would have. I'm not speaking ill, but he was lazy.
Right.
But he'd have been a lazy player now.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not a lazy player then, lazy player now.
What did you mean, Stevie, by more time on the ball now?
Well, the pitch is bigger. It's not. The pitches are not. The pitches are made bigger by the way the game's played.
Right.
So the further back you go, certainly in my era in the 80s, it was more congested. So you had less space and you had less time on the ball because people would get to you quicker.
Okay.
The ball today moves faster, way faster than the Adidas balls we used to use.
I see.
So the fact that the ball moves faster gives you more time on the ball. If your first touch is good,
Yeah.
And it's harder for people to close you down.
Is it more difficult, Stevie, to defend a player with strength like Lukaku, the pace of Alphonso Davies, or the quick feet of Bernardo Silva?
Oh. It's there's not an answer to that because they're all completely different things. You've got to go about it a different way. So Lukaku, you stay away from him.
Right.
Because he wants to fight you.
Okay.
And you don't fight the bear.
Right.
You know, Davis, you either have to be so tight that he can't move and you just have to foul him if you get it wrong, or else you step off him. And the last one, Bernardo Silva, he's more of a guy that you ferry. You take him somewhere that he doesn't want to go.
Right. So out of those three, which would you most dread having to defend?
Defenders hate pace.
Right. Frank?
When we talk about Davies, we talk about Alphonso Davies from
Yes.
Bayern Munich.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
I would have preferred to play against Lukaku because we talk about somebody who play with his body and everything. So you can try to deal with that. The problem with Bernardo Silva is so small that me being taller is quite impossible to deal with him because I'm going to make fouls all the time. With Davies, it's unbearable. The guy is so fast that you can't touch him, you can't cope with him, you can't even anticipate because it goes too fast. I remember playing against Thierry Henry. I remember playing against Nicolas Anelka. It's impossible. It's almost impossible because you start running backwards when the guy is already it's 10 yards away from you. But because you know he's so fast, you have to start running there. Otherwise, you're going to be too late. It's impossible to deal with those.
I think the last two.
So I would say that I prefer Lukaku, but I will avoid Davies.
Yeah, I mean these two were defenders.
Sorry,
and Frank more of a sort of natural centre half, and Stevie more of an attacking wide player, fullback, whatever. Me being a central midfielder, I did play centre half on 3 or 4 occasions, a couple of times for Scotland, a couple of times for Chelsea as a fill-in. And the one thing I would have hated was the last two, particularly the Davies.
Yeah.
If you'd have said to me, look, you're going back to play centre half, and there's a big strong guy up front, and I'd been like,
you could battle, yeah.
I'd been like, no, I wouldn't have battled it. I just went, okay, that's fine. He's not going to run away from me. I don't need to get super tight to him. He's not got the greatest touch. So the chances are, if he takes a touch, it's going back to his own goal. So I don't have to get really tight to him because I don't have to fight him. I can drag a midfielder back, and I don't have to worry about him running in behind. So it's definitely the last two offer you more problems as a defensive player.
That's an interesting quandary, as is the next question. Craig, would you rather
Yes. I've not even seen the question.
read Frank's book or go on Stevie's diet?
I'd rather go on Stevie's diet because this diet doesn't exist.
Well, so you'd have to eat mince every day. You'd have to eat ground beef every day.
But I pretty much, I'm not far off it. My son, my youngest son, eats. He is mini me for him. He eats minced beef.
His physique is not quite the same though. He's 6'3" and built.
He's 270 pounds, 6'3", and he works out, and he's a very. He put it one way, he works the minced beef off.
Yes.
Unlike...
And his beer consumption is slightly...
well, zero. Zero alcohol.
I thought you were describing me there.
Well, listen, I've given a chance to read Frank's book.
Well, there you go.
Is it about going to Luxembourg and stashing cash?
No, well, yes, it's part of the self-help. How to avoid paying tax.
Involve brown bags. Brown bags.
Actually, the winter's coming up, and it'd be good for the fire if you run out of wood.
What are you having tonight for your dinner?
Mince.
I've got what you want.
Silly.
Well, just on the off chance. There might have been the off chance he was having fish.
So when Eleanor went away, she made 21 different meals for you, yes? Because she was away for 3 weeks.
She wanted to make a change.
Easy peasy.
How many of those 21 meals contained minced ground beef?
21.
It's true. It's absolutely true.
Well, she says, what would you like? What do you want me to make? What do you want me to leave you? I'll go mince.
There you are.
Wouldn't it be good if she just went one time? Wouldn't it be good? Wouldn't it be fun? No, I'm being serious now. If she just went one time, I'm going back to the UK for 3 weeks and I'm just not going to make you anything.
No, that wouldn't be good.
Why? You could do it.
You could do it. Listen to it. Motivation.
Oh.
Right, come on. This has been a long extra time. Watching Jesse March go ballistic on the touchline, have any of you ever played for a manager whose sideline antics embarrassed you while you were on the pitch? Well, let's open that up a bit. When you managed at the Rev, Stevie, I imagine you and Mariners looking over at other managers going, what is he up to?
It's annoying watching the other managers going daft.
Right.
But I've got to tell you, in MLS, it's very difficult. You've got to be very clever because they were so strict. They would fine you for anything.
Right.
I mean, I watch what goes on in the Premier League and I watch people like Simeone and I'm like, they would be getting fined every single week in MLS.
You got fined twice, did you? That's not bad, Stevie.
3 times.
3 times.
I used to have to hide.
When did Simeone
I had to hold it back and go and hide.
When-
In fact, I nearly broke my hand once.
Making mince.
We were playing a cup game and I was in this dugout and I just forgot my surroundings and it was made of solid wood. And the referee did something and I was absolutely raging and I just turned round, I got my left hand and I just punched the side of the bench. I don't remember the rest of the game, I was like that. You know the cartoons when your hand's going like that? Honestly, it took me about 3 weeks to get rid of it. All my knuckles were all swollen. I just forgot it was solid wood and
What did you think it was? A sponge?
I just...
It's a sponge dugout.
I just don't think it.
Frank, who's had the better career? Lewandowski or Benzema?
Right now, Benzema, no doubt about it. So he's been like more than 10 years that he plays for Real Madrid, where Lewandowski, I would say that he's been at the top of the top, for the past 5 years. I don't know when they're going to end or when Lewandowski is going to end, where he's going to be above Benzema. But so far, Benzema has a better career, for sure. And he won, how many Champions League did he win? 4 against 1, I think. Yeah, so I think, Benzema, with all due respect to Lewandowski, of course.
I'm sure the comments segment will take all of that very well.
It's
no
amazing.
problem. Yeah, Frank's made a good point.
Yeah.
Stevie.
Frank hates the Germans.
Yes,
Poles.
yes, exactly.
Sorry.
French
bias.
bias.
Bias. Why has
What
everybody
can
got
we
to
do?
be...
I don't know what's going on. Everyone's going mad at the moment.
What's that?
Like Messi and Ronaldo is just crazy.
What do you mean?
They're obsessed with it.
Who is?
Everyone on Twitter, everyone's obsessed about Messi or Ronaldo.
You've got to understand, most of the people on Twitter.
Yeah, but no one could just be like,
But
oh, they're
you've
both
got to
good
understand,
players.
most of the people on Twitter are morons.
Okay. This final question is from Don's University of Biking and
They're not real people.
Are we allowed to say stuff like that on TV? Because I've got some others. You know, last time I talked on a French TV. Just listen to that, because they asked me about Messi or Benzema to have the Ballon d'Or, and I said, you know, Messi got a red card, and I remember that Zidane didn't get the Ballon d'Or twice because he had 2 red cards, and I say so. Therefore I think Messi shouldn't get the Ballon d'Or because he had the red card. Well, I was insulted, threatened by death in Argentina, Brazil, and Spain for that. Where, you know me, I don't give a stuff about the Ballon d'Or, and those people, they get crazy. It's not even their lives, but they're ready to threat you because you just say one thing that you think it's not really important for the rest of the world. But people, as you say, they're completely morons. They're complete morons. And I tell you.
You can't take these people seriously.
Apart from our lovely viewers, who we respect very much. Final one. Don's University of Biking Percentages. Stevie, give us your power rankings.
I love that name, Don's University of Biking Percentages.
Your power rankings, Stevie. Shepherd's pie. Mince.
Right, so you've got to take mince away because shepherd's pie is mince.
Right,
It's dead easy.
Right.
It's shepherd's pie.
Yes.
After about 6 pints, it's a proper bag of fish and chips.
How can you eat fish and chips after 6 pints, Steve?
Oh, it tastes lovely. Oh. Even when you eat the paper and you don't notice, it still tastes lovely. Followed by filet mignon and then a hamburger coming up in the rear.
Well done. No, you missed the well done.
Well done.
Well done.
Sorry, well done, filet mignon.
Well done, where the chef's also
it has to be medium rare. Medium rare. Filet mignon has to be medium rare.
Yes, I know, Frank, don't go there. Frank,
Come
everybody
on,
else
get
knows
out.
that. No, I know, Frank.
Not Scotland, Frank.
That
it's
is
him.
it. We are done. Wow,
He's not normal.
That was a big old extra
You know
time
the old
today.
saying,
Stevie will be back tomorrow. Europa League, of course.
Europa Conference.
Is it?
Get the lot in.
There you are. Plus, looking ahead to United City as well, Stevie.
Yeah, but we're going to do that Friday.
I think I'll just sleep here.
Oh, lovely. You need to go in for mince.
Oh, you're right.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.